they'll also make comments like, no one will be able to get a mortgage here. People don't get mortgages in Sunny Isles. How do they afford to buy in these buildings then for this amount of money? Well, they have an account in another country and it's wire transferred into another account, and then they buy a property. They're successful entrepreneurs of business things. I live in Miami, Florida, specifically in a city called Sunny Isles Beach. And I've been talking about my Miami condo, specifically where I own a unit, as well as a lot of the issues here now facing condo owners, specifically my building. That noise you hear is actually active construction that's happening over there at the Arlen buildings. All of the buildings here are kind of up for their different respective certifications. So I'm just leaving my pool deck and I'm gonna try to talk up. Hopefully that sound will stop. Yeah, pretty active construction happening here with buildings doing their recertifications and everything. We just got a new contractor, I guess, for the work on our building. It's a very large property, my building. We'll talk about that. It's on like a peninsula here and the bay surrounds it. Let me show you the neighbors. That's across the street, historic house there. I think it's selling for, it's on the market, I think for like 14 million. Most of the homes on that street there go for about 14 million. And you know, I've had realtors, they make comments, no one's gonna wanna buy in your old building and they can't get a mortgage. It's like, well, let me talk about two of those things for you. So my building is this old building, as we all refer to it, and it is across the street from the ocean line, which is the buildings you're seeing here. The buildings here, you're lucky if you could get a resale for maybe 2.5, 3 million, but especially in the newer buildings that have these hydraulic elevators where the car goes up the center of the building like a James Bond movie. You're referring to the Porsche Tower and the new Bentley construction and everything. You're talking about sales starting from 5 million to probably 40 million on the ocean. The average unit in those buildings right there goes for about 5 million. So I'll have realtors and they're gonna be like, no one wants to ever buy in a building like this, and obviously that's not true. Miami is a very unusual place. So for example, my building, which is this old dinosaur building, yes, the units, you know, are going for 280, 300 or something like that if you're lucky. And people are going, no one's gonna want that. Yes, they are, because if you're not in the entrepreneur bracket that you could afford the ocean line, there's not a lot of options in Sunny Isles for this price bracket. Other people have said like, oh, renting is more stable. Again, the rental complexes up the street are going for about $3,000 a month. And there's not that many of them. Again, that puts you into the category where you have to rent on the ocean. So that's gonna be from anywhere from $10,000 a month to $30,000, $40,000 a month for a unit. So, you know, I'll get, especially realtors, commenting on my videos, and they just don't, they either have visited South Florida very sporadically, you know, maybe on a family vacation, they don't understand how things work here. They'll also make comments like, no one will be able to get a mortgage here. People don't get mortgages in Sunny Isles. Okay, that's how Sunny Isles is. That's how it's always been. Some of you will be like, how could you say that? It's like, look up Sunny Isles Beach. Look up Sunny Isles Beach. Did you ever look up what the nickname of Sunny Isles Beach is? Because it does have a nickname, just so if you're curious. Our building, you know, I'll just film it a little bit, you know, is up for its 50-year recertification. I'll show you the work on it. The building is called Coastal Towers here in Sunny Isles. The work you're seeing is work that began from the old contractor, and then there was some sort of dispute with the other contractor and they were off the job. We're like 5 years behind on our certification. There's no excuse, and that comes down to the management of the building. And there's no excuse, you know, if you're working for a company and a manager messes up, or you're working for a business and something occurs, at the end of the day, it is the people in charge who are in charge. I know that people who live in my building, ironically, have gotten wind of my videos. I don't know if they're happy or not happy about it. Quite frankly, I really don't care. That's the beauty of freedom of speech and having a ability and a platform to talk. That's Dad, by the way. When you get a bad condo association, it's rough. My condo association, one of the shadiest things they did was, as many of you know, ever since the Surfside collapse, which is just down the street, we've had a lot of assessments. That's one element. But, you know, a lot of condo owners are coming to a decision. Can I pay these assessments? Do I want to sell? Do I want to get out now? What do I want to do? And that's a personal decision amongst a family and a business decision as to what you want to do. My building came up with a odd scheme where they did an unheard of thing. They said, unless you could pay off all your assessments before, even if it's a 10-year assessment where you're paying monthly assessments, it cannot come out of escrow at the sale of the apartment. You have to pay off all the assessment before you close. In other words, you can't take it out of escrow at the closing. Or you can't sell your apartment, and we will foreclose on your unit and try to take your unit from you, and then the building will resell it at a profit. That sounds like fraud. So they tried to do it, and I contacted the building's attorneys via my attorney, and it got taken care of, and miraculously it was a mistake. But that's what my building tried to do. That's what my condo association at Coastal Towers tried to do. They put out a notice, an actual notice, and posted in the lobby that said, we will stop your sale. We will not allow you to sell your unit. We will not allow you at escrow to take out the amount that is owed for different assessments and different things, which is unheard of. A person has the right to pay off their debts through escrow or anything else. And so that was a gimmick that they really tried, and they tried hard. And when I would talk to people about it, you know, other realtors and other lawyers, they were like dumbfounded by it, because it was such a scheming attempt of my condo association. The other thing that was going on was a board member was going around with a ballot trying to gain secret signatures. Wrote their attorney about that too. By the way, I'm not an attorney, but I have every right to write their attorneys emails and be like, this is going on. I am suspicious of this. What is going on? Odd signatures going around. That seems to have stopped at a board meeting. They hang up on us. There's no transparency. There's no transparency of signatures, of votes. We vote for things. There's never a count. There's never a count of anything. There's a board member in the Zoom session that was for all owners. He goes, your Coastal Towers, as you can see, is on a very large, valuable piece of land that would be very valuable to developers. It's like, what the F, dude? You're on the board. You own multiple units here. Now he owns one. Those are some odd comments. Take that, compare with these signatures that are going around. It's like, because I'm sure they watch these videos, because I've heard things that they are. And quite frankly, if anything ever happened at this building where signatures are approved for a developer, you can count on that I will get an attorney and I will have them investigate every single signature. Is it legitimate? Did you sign this on your own account? Were you pressured? Believe me, there will be depots and subpoenas like you have never seen. Because I am, if it's not being mean, and it's not being mean-spirited, but if you try to take my home or come and put up a notice that says, in the event you ever wanted to sell your unit, you can't, that's not acceptable, okay? And for anyone to say, oh, I'm just gonna like fall down on the floor and let that occur, that would mean that there's something actually wrong with you. That's not being like, that's past like, oh, I'm weak. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. I bring that up. I think that is still unlikely to occur because of the size of this building. Although it's always possible that they could try to connive and do something with that. And I will be sure to be sending follow-up emails to their attorneys and everything else to subdue any odd attempt that they may be trying to do. I bring that up because I want to point out to you this building here. This building here is called Kings Point Imperial. It has a similar name to my building. It is a beautiful little condo. They're through units. It's on the bay here, and what's funny is I've always wanted to switch over to this building because I think it's much more Hawaii themed. They have a beautiful lawn and pool, and all of a sudden now, apparently the unit owners have sold off to a developer, and this land supposedly is going to become another rental building or something like that, or a condo. And honestly, it's very eyebrow raising. Yes, it's much lower units that would have to agree to that than our dinosaur building, but it still raises an eyebrow. The thing that's very odd is that the advertisement of the building where they have been apparently have sold this building off. I don't know. We think it might have sold. At least they're trying. At the very least, the ad says that this building is falling apart. It's literally crumbling to pieces. They just had a new roof put on. So look at their lawn. Look how immaculate their lawn is. Okay, they said that the units in the building, it's falling apart, and that it's in desperate need of a developer to come and save them.
Save them
From falling apart, and that the building is falling down. That seems a little weird. I know I've had people who actually were former board members of my building, who are not anymore. Years ago they were, but they're still in the building, and they've said things like, "Thank God you're educated." It's like, I am educated, and I understand how the law works and how the law doesn't work. As a civilian, I'm not an attorney, but I'm not stupid, and I know the way things add up or the way they don't. And I've had people in the building. Unfortunately, a lot of the people in my building are simpletons, and they're not formally educated. So they've made some comments before. If the association wants to do A, B, and C, they can. No, they can't, and I will get an attorney through a legal process. You're going to be called out on that. You're going to be called out on it. There will be subpoenas, and there will be depositions, and we will get to the bottom of things. You can't just post notices in the lobby that says, you can't sell your apartment because it's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we wear pink, and we decided that it's pink day, and therefore you can't sell your unit. Yeah, we're not doing that. No.
Talk about that.
I always wanted to move to this building because it reminded me of like Hawaii, but the building is across from the Ritz-Carlton, and this is prime real estate.
Where are these people going to go?
They're probably going to get screwed if it happens, yes. But that's not, unfortunately, I can't save everyone. And sometimes you have to think about yourself. But hearing about this is for that matter, we were worried about that happening with our building too, but they should understand is that I am educated, and I do understand things, and I am not going to be the person in the building that's, if the Great Pumpkin says this is how it has to be, it will be. It's like, no, I'm going to be the one that gets the attorney, and we could go to court, and we could get tied up in court for 3-4 years. I am going to be that person, and I think, quite frankly, they know it. I think they know that by now, and I think their attorneys know it by now. And quite frankly, when my building tried to do the gimmick of saying that condo owners couldn't sell their unit, I wrote their attorneys, and I mentioned to them many, many times in it, I am not an attorney, but I am writing you as a unit owner. And what I said to them, to their attorneys, I wrote like 5 of them CC'd on it, and I also had an attorney reach out to them as well on my behalf. What I said to them was, because there's a clause with attorneys governed by the Florida Bar, they have to adhere to a morality clause, and if they feel or it comes to the attention of an attorney that their client is knowingly engaged in some sort of suspected fraud, they have to cancel. They would have to counsel their client, and they may have to have no choice in recusing themselves and removing themselves from the case, or they could lose their license. And that's basically what I told them in the email. I said, you have duties to adhere to keep your licensing, and I expect you to counsel your client that this is wrong, and to advise them. and it was corrected. But it was quite the aggravation. And again, the fact that my condo association would attempt that, why did they attempt it? Narcissism. And they feel that the average person in my building is a simpleton. Like I said, with reference to my building, we've never seen any signatures. We've never seen how the votes are cast in my building. You vote. We never know the tally. We never know how anything's divided. How the board, nothing.
This showed it.
This real estate, whether, you know, down the street, is across from these buildings. And these creepy developers, they lick their chops at trying to take advantage of people. And I am sure, quite frankly, that they despise people like me who are educated and push back. And quite frankly, I don't care. My answer to them is, hi, welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching. I mean, as of now, the situation with my building, there is no rumor of anything like that occurring. We supposedly have gained a new contractor. Right now, I'm not selling my unit. I remember what this association did. They tried to actually take the units from the owners because there's no other explanation for what they did. They put out a notice that said, you cannot sell your unit unless all maintenance, all assessments are paid ahead of time. We won't let you close. So everyone was asking, well, what will happen if we can't sell to then pay the money? We'll foreclose on your unit and we'll sell it at a profit. It's like, bad sounds like bad. There's no way to make that sound less creepy. They also, the association, consistently plays dumb with lawsuits. I'll be on the Zoom session actually quoting them the actual folio numbers of the cases, and they'll play dumb. It's like, this is the case number. Some of them are, you know, slip and falls and stuff, but they consistently play dumb. Won't tell you anything that's going on in the building, which we did. We always, that's what I was going to say, that there was a long time period we would just wave at them and be like, hi, how you doing? How's your lunch going? And what happened with that? They tried to take our units.
I did some investigating.
They tried to take our units.
I want you to take a...
I'm glad I'm making these videos. I think it's spreading awareness. I'm documenting my life also. You know, the realtors, that's always been something that like drives me nuts. That realtors who comment on my channel who have never visited Miami are very unfamiliar with how things work here. Oh, people here won't be able to get mortgages. People here don't get mortgages. They're entrepreneurs. And you'll have people on my comments will be like, what are you talking about? There's very successful lawyers and doctors that live in these buildings and you're just jealous of them. They may be a lawyer, they may be a doctor, but you know, their salary of being a lawyer or a doctor that's $300,000 a year doesn't equate to a $40 million condo on the ocean. Something's not adding up, okay? So I'm sure many of my viewers are very intelligent beings. I don't think I need to spell out to you what I'm trying to say about Sunny Isles. And if you don't believe me, look up Sunny Isles Beach yourself. It has a very interesting nickname. Many different organizations have studied Sunny Isles Beach before. Again, my building is an oddball. But thank you so much for watching. I'm going to tell you the real deal of Sunny Isles and the situations here. I'm not going to be like your, first of all, I'm not a realtor, but I'm not going to be like some of those channels that are like, it's beautiful, look at the building, look at this, look at that, very successful entrepreneur, have Bentley. It's like, I'm going to tell you the real thing. You know how they make their money, it is what it is. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you soon in my next video. And I have Patreon, channel memberships, all that, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!